Let's start. I'm sure there are more people joining us very soon, but it's time to start our Blue Mission Atlantic and Arctic Weekly Hour. Today we'll have the blue growth towards marketable marine restoration solutions. Basically, we will explain how the EEA grants blue growth program in Portugal is enhancing value creation and sustainable growth in the Portuguese blue economy. We have a very interesting panel of speakers today. We'll start with Marisa Lameiras da Silva, then we go to Francisco Arenas, then Luis Nobre, and finally Paulo Mendonça. Well, I will introduce now Marisa. Marisa Lameiras was appointed as Director General for Maritime Policy in October 2022 by the Minister of Economy and the Sea. Previously, Marisa Lameiras da Silva was Director of the Department of Strategy and Economic Analysis at the Portuguese Environment Agency, where she was responsible for the areas of circular economy, sustainable financing, among others. So, Marisa has a huge experience on issues related to the environment and also, how to create wealth from, working with the environment. Marisa Lameiras also worked in the cabinet of the Minister of the Environment and Climate Actions of the 22nd constitutional government as responsible for the implementation of the National Blue Economy Policy and for coordinating the preparation of the action plan for the sustainable blue bioeconomy on the Horizon 2025. So we are very, very happy to have Marisa over here. She's in charge of a key institution dealing with the oceans in Portugal, maybe the most important one by far today. So thank you, Marisa, for being here. We're very happy to have you here. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Luis. Thank you so much for, first of all, the invitation. I am truly honored to be part of this event. And I and my team, we are very excited to share some of the marine restoration projects funded by the Blue Grow program. So we think that these projects are not just about healing the ocean, if I can say like that, but it's also about creating new opportunities, and that also at the same time can be good for the business in the future. So they are all about using new ideas to help our climate and by making our ocean stronger and more healthier. So like you said, I'm the Director General for Maritime Policy, and before I explain what is the Blue Grow program, I would like to share our mission, the mission of the Directorate General for Maritime Policy. DGPM is an organization under the Portuguese Ministry of the Economy and Maritime Affairs and act mainly at the strategic level. Our action on the blue economy relies fundamentally on the policy matters and developing and monitoring the national strategy for the ocean, financing, and also international cooperation, and also, of course, the ocean literacy. So we are the program operator for the Blue Grow program under the EEA grants 1421. And if you can go to the next slide, please, I will start to explain what is this program. So the EE grants is a financial mechanism through which Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway provide financial support to the member states of the European Union with the greatest deviation from the European average gross domestic product per capita, which includes Portugal. So the two major EE grants objectives are to reduce the economic and social disparities in the European Economic Area and to strengthen the bilateral relations between beneficiary and donor countries. So this program, the Blue Grow program, is one of the 5 approved programs in the EEA grants and is managed, like I said, by the DGPM. The main objective of the Blue Grow program is to increase value creation and sustainable growth in the Portuguese blue economy through the financing initiatives that rise the competitiveness and profitability of Portuguese small medium enterprises and bring more innovation in their products, service, process. So the total budget available is 44.9 million euros, and the program has 4 partners: the Innovation Norway, Research Council of Norway, Icelandic Center for Research, and Norwegian Directorate for Higher Education and Skills. If you don't mind, next slide, please. So, like I said, this area and this programmatic area, the main objective is the creation and sustainable growth, including the long-term marine and maritime economic growth, social cohesion in terms of local communities and maritime activities, and the protection of marine environment. In addition, it also aims to increase research and promote education and training in marine and maritime areas. The synergies between these 3 areas, business, research, and education, in this holistic approach will contribute to a sustainable blue growth in Portugal. Research will support companies with the research development and innovation component, reinforcing their competitiveness in the market. On the other hand, education component will promote improvement of skills and awareness of human resources on the marine and maritime issues. And finally, the program will strengthen cooperation between donors and beneficiary countries through projects and partnerships. Next slide. So this slide, this is a timeline of the program and all calls. So all the calls have been launched and concluded right now at this moment, and we are in the implementation phase. If you can go to the next slide. So this is an overview of the program. As you can see, there were 10 calls launched and 254 applications were received, corresponding to a total grant request of 350% higher than the funds available. 118 projects were approved with a total grant approved of 42.5 million euros, which represents 100% allocation rate. And we have 67 projects with the donor partners. For us, this is a very successful program right now. So next slide. This is a slide where we show you what is the geographic distribution. And the program has projects located in all regions of Portugal, from the north to the south, including the Açores and Madeira Islands. And most of these projects are located near the coastal regions and Lisbon, and also in center. The north region and the Algarve with 20 and 21 projects, and Alentejo with 5 projects approved. Next slide. So this table shows the total executed amount of the program. In March 24, in the end, this month, the implementation stands at 62% and is expected to reach 95% by the end of the year. The projects are currently in the final stages of the implementation, and for the entire team, like I said before, it is a great source of pride to see the results in actions. Next slide. This is another slide where we can see the financial execution, and it's another perspective and concerning of the 4 outcomes that are the foundation of this program. There is a higher level of execution of outcome 3, that is research, and outcome 4, education and literacy. Next slide. So another overview of the program. Right now, we have 84 projects ongoing, 24 projects in conclusion, and 7 projects already concluded. So next slide. We need to have some performance indicators. We have these indicators per outcome. So regarding the outcome 1, the main objective is to financing enterprises and developing, applying, and bring to the market innovative products and technology. This outcome will also allow for great cooperation between companies and research institutes to promote user-driven research-based innovation and to promote the training on the job. The indicators of this outcome aim to measure the impact of funding on the development of innovative technologies and products, job creations, and knowledge transfer for the rich research area to the business sector. According to our last report, that is to December 2023, all the goals have been achieved. So this is one of our outcomes with a very successful indicators. So it showed also that we can be noted that these indicators only can be achieved in the end of the projects, because on the end of the projects, we will have the products, the new products, the new service. So we expect that these numbers can be higher than the ones that we have in the slide. Next slide. Regarding the outcome number 2, so this outcome, the objective of this outcome is to finance companies to apply innovative products and technologies already available on the market, or to develop new ones which use marine litter as a raw material. The result to address the issue of resource efficiency through a circular economy approach and support companies that use marine litter as a raw material or create conditions for collecting litter for use on the secondary raw material on other place. So the result is implementing to complement and exploit synergies with the environment, climate change, and low carbon economy. This is the Portuguese environment program, and we almost are near the proposal goals on these outcomes. Right now, the results suggest that this outcome did not reach the goal, and we believe that it still needs an innovative approach, and we need to introduce more the principle of the circular economy, the development of these new technologies or products. So we think also that the targets, we set targets was very ambitious. We have 5 projects approved under this outcome and only 2 adopt the first 2 indicators. So we think that in the next program we need to rethink on these outcomes. Next slide, please. So regarding the objective of the outcome number 3, that is improve the performance of the Portuguese research organization in the Blue Grow, including technology development. When we think on this, is to promote the monitoring and improvement of knowledge of marine environment issues, including the natural capital and ecosystems, ecosystem service. The program aims to have more partnerships between research organizations or between research organizations and companies from Portugal and donor countries, and to develop collaborative projects on the field of research. So the first two indicators have already been achieved, and the last two indicators are related with the implementation of a predefined project that I will speak later, which only can be achieved when all the equipment is operating. Next slide, please. So regarding the outcome number 4, the aim of this outcome is to increase training and education and to improve the skills and the competence of the students and workers, and to increase also the number of ocean literacy projects. This is a very successful, as you can see, very successful outcome. The call dedicated to the ocean literacy was very well received and even justify an increase of available funding. So we approved more projects than we thought in the beginning of the program. So the high number of projects has contributed to the overcome of both of indicators. Next slide. So this program, the Blue Grow program, is a very, very active program when it comes to the communication. Per week, we publish 2 posts per week in the social networks. We organize already 11 matchmaking events. We have more than 300 participations in B2B meetings, more than 700 participations in the national entities with donor countries. And we have a lot of communication activities, webinars with the programs, participation in events. We were present in the United Nations Ocean Conference that was held in Lisbon in 2022. And we are the team of the Blue Grow related with the communication are very, very active. So next slide. So now the program has three predefined projects. The first PDP, the main objective is the acquisition of the maritime simulators to give the nautical school capacity in training of national and international marine officers. So this program also includes an improvement of training in maritime education. And next slide. Here are some photos of the simulator that is working right now in this moment. So next slide. PDP number 2 is related with the Atlantic Observatory. This is a joint research unity promoting the network of marine authorities and relevant research institutions with the strong involvement of the 2 Portuguese Atlantic regions, Açores and Madeira. And it's also the aim, it's also to create and operation an integrated, efficient, low-cost marine observation system focused on the Atlantic Basin, and also based on the ongoing global and regional initiatives. Another objective is to promote networking between stakeholders and acting as a single point of access data, information, and service associated with the Atlantic. So this Atlantic Observatory will be the basis for management of marine protected areas, the design of maritime planning, and also the support of the Atlantic blue economy. Next slide. These are some photos of the Atlantic Observatory. If you can go to. So the main objective of this PDP number 3 is to optimize the acquisition of oceanographic data for the research vessel Mário Ruivo. And right now we are on the installation of a set of sensors that will provide new capabilities for this research vessel. As you can see, the 3 PDPs are related with the knowledge of the Atlantic basins. Next slide. So now I will just show you the main areas of action of the Blue Grow program, and in these areas you can see the name of some projects in these areas. As you can see, the main areas are the blue biotechnology, the innovation in fisheries and aquaculture, nautic tourism, algae renewable energies, maritime surveillance monitoring. You can see. Okay, next slide, please. Commercial ports, technologies for the use of sea resources, marine restoration solutions, marine litter transformation. Next slide. Education, ocean literacy, and research. Next slide. So I invite you all to look to our projects through the link provided in the slide, and before concluding, and also before to give the chance of the speakers, next speakers to hear about the projects funded by the Blue Grow program, I would like to say that although this mechanism that is related to 2014 until 2021 is coming to an end, we are already in negotiation the next program that will focus on the sustainable growth, and we know that it's going to happen given the success of our program. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Marisa. Wonderful presentation. So, I mean, more than 100 projects, more than 42 million, and I was very impressed with all the outcomes, but being the most important one within the context of the BlueMissionAA CSA is the outcome for increased competitiveness for Portuguese enterprises. I was really impressed with the numbers of jobs created, 160, numbers of new products, technology developed, 120, number of innovative technologies, process and solutions applied, 44, number of new intellectual property rights, 16, a number of new products, technologies commercialized, 67. Sorry for repeating that, but this is the kind of examples we need from Blue Mission. We are trying to develop this idea of an innovation pipeline for the Atlantic and Arctic, and this is very compelling for blue entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So now we move on to the other presenters. So Valerie, could you please take over and introduce the next 3 speakers, and then we have a round of question and answers.
Yes, okay, sure, thank you. And again, thank you very much, Marisa. a fantastic presentation. So next we pass to Francisco Arenas. He is Principal Investigator at CMAR, the Interdisciplinary Center of Marine and Environmental Research. Francisco is a marine ecologist with over 25 years of experience researching coastal ecosystems. His research primarily involves monitoring coastal ecosystems, experimental ecology, and using modeling tools to understand and predict the effects of global changes on coastal populations and ecosystems from structural and functional perspectives. He is coordinator of the project Blue Foresting, working alongside a dynamic team of Portuguese and Norwegian researchers with the overarching goal to incorporate kelp forests as a nature-based solution and a potent tool to tackle climate change mitigation, uphold biodiversity, and safeguard ecosystem services. So he will be presenting the Blue Foresting project. Over to you, Francisco, if you want to upload your presentation.
Yeah. Is it, can you see it? Wait. Now? Is it fine?
Yes, all good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to move this. So, yeah, good afternoon. I would like just to say first thank you for the invitation to contribute to this session. And what I'm going to speak in this short talk is about, we are going to give an overview of Blue Foresting, which is project, in Portuguese is Florestas Marinhas Resilientes ao Clima para um Futuro Sustentável. And it's a project that aims to basically foster the sustainable forests here in the north of Portugal, which are very special forests, very special marine forests. So briefly, I will start presenting you more or less what is a marine forest. Marine forests are, let's say, the equivalent to terrestrial forests, but underwater. You don't see them usually because they are underwater. But if you dive a little bit in rocky reefs, you can see that most of the rocky reefs are covered by this kelp forest, by dense kelp forests, which are basically large brown seaweeds. These large brown seaweeds, the kelp forest, are very abundant in coastal areas, in cold seawater areas of the oceans. They cover, let's say, 25% of the coastal habitats, so around between 6 and 7 million square kilometers all around the planet. They are highly productive and they are highly diverse. Just to give you an idea of the natural capital provided by these habitats, the recent estimation calculated that the value in US dollars of this of the services provided by the coastal habitats is around 500 billions per year. Okay, so they are really important ecosystems. In Portugal, we have forests which are very much linked to the north of Portugal, to the corner of the Iberian Peninsula, where the water, because of the weather, is usually the water is very cold, even in summer. And these cold affinity species, they thrive, they flourish here in these areas. We have different species, 6 subtidal species, 6 kelps, 3 species of kelp, sorry, which are the southernmost populations in Europe, and for some of them also the southernmost population in Portugal, in the Atlantic, in the East Atlantic. And the closer populations are in France, so they are, let's say, some kind of relict populations isolated from the near neighbors, no? These marine forests are very relevant because they provide us with a lot of services. They are structural habitats. This creates forests, this creates complex habitats, which are grounds, nursery grounds for many species of fish. They provide coastal protections. They are also very important for industry. There is a lot of blue growth opportunities, a lot of biotechnology around these seaweeds. They are important for tourism and cultural heritage. They offer climate refuge for climate change sensitive species, and they are being incorporated in the blue carbon assessments now. So they are important for climate regulation. So what is blue foresting about? Blue foresting is about providing science-based guidance for the design and implementation of nature-based solutions to foster sustainable and healthy marine forests here in the north coast of Portugal. Our approach is filling the knowledge gaps, basically, starting filling the knowledge gaps and provide also tools for management to help the governance of this forest. So we can help policymakers with these tools in order to foster this healthy, resilient, climate resilient marine forest, okay? So we have to close a little bit the gap between science and policy. So we started the project. I'm going to overview a little bit of because we are finished the project now, of the results of the project. The first thing we did is to map the size of this marine forest. So we covered this 150 kilometers of sea bottom in the north of Portugal, and we discovered more or less that we have around 6,000 hectares of kelp forest in our coast. They are, as you can see, very much close to the coast, to the seashore, because the depth that they can reach is not that much because of the water clarity is very low in the north of Portugal. So we have been able also to compile information from the different programs, and now we are identifying the trends of these marine forests. They are declining very fast, and especially for those species which are more cold, with more cold affinity. So the boreal species are disappearing faster. And this decline is happening at the same time that we have an increase of species which are more subtropical, so they like more warmer waters. Especially worrying is the fact that we have an increase in the abundance of the Salema fish, which is a grazer, is voracious, and it can decimate marine forests very, very fast. No? So we are trying to see, once we know how big they are, where they are, we're trying to see how relevant are they. We have been doing in situ assessments to identify, for example, the primary productivity of these marine forests, the uptake capacity for carbon. We also want to know how relevant for the fisheries are. So, for example, to give you some fast numbers, we know that the biomass stock, the blue biomass in this blue forest in North Portugal is around near 20 gigagrams of carbon. And we estimate that approximately every year, 5,000 tons of carbon is exported to deeper areas. So in some way sequestered, but these are the first estimations. Okay, we are still working on this. We have now also collected information about fisheries, artisanal fisheries around this area of the kelp forest. We know that the value in market value of the fisheries in this area is around 4 million euros per year. But we want now to know how close are these fisheries, how linked are these fisheries to the kelp forest themselves. No? At the same time, we need to know how resilient are these kelp forests to the future climate change. So we are doing two things here. Basically, we are looking to the exposure of these marine forests in the future to climate change. So we have been working with oceanographers. We have now models which are very, very local, very regional. And in these models, we can see perfectly the signal of climate change, how this climate change is going to change the intensity, the ratio, the intensity of upwelling, which is the refugia for these species. Okay, these species are very linked to these upwelling events. So the change in the upwelling events will, in the future, will mark, will save, let's say, the abundance and distribution of the species. At the same time, we are looking for populations which can be more resilient to climate change. We are testing experimentally sensitivity and adaptation. We are mapping genetically these populations. And the idea here is to use in the future, to identify for the future, if we have to do restoration to use those populations that shows a higher resilience to climate change. No? For restoration, we need to have techniques ready in place, techniques for these restoration programs. So we have a good team of researchers that has been able to close the cycle of these kelps, and they are quite complex life cycles with two phases, one macroscopic and one microscopic. Now we have closed it in the lab for different species, so we are able to provide seedlings for restoration programs. And we are testing different approaches for restoration, including intertidal species and also subtidal. And here you can see, for example, in the middle, in the bottom, in this green gravel approach, which is probably the cheapest way to do restoration programs in natural habitats. It's estimated that it costs like €6 per square meter, where the stones seeded with juveniles of kelps are deployed directly drop in the bottom of suitable habitats. Okay. At the same time, we are trying to assess how society will accept what is the willingness and the awareness of society regarding marine forests. So we want to know first what is the awareness regarding the services and the existence itself of marine forests among the regional population in the north of Portugal, but also at a very national scale. We have done a survey to see if people is willing to pay taxes in order to preserve these habitats. There is a lot of outreach activities developed within the program. Here I show you some pictures, and I just want to finish showing you the look, how they look like, the marine forest here in North Portugal, with a small video, and you can see this Saccharissa polychidas, in this case, forest. Obviously, I want to thank the EEA grants for the possibility to fund this research. These are the partners of the project, and that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that very interesting presentation, and great to hear about the research that's going on in terms of looking at that resiliency question to climate change. And so I'm sure there's probably going to be some questions on that, and maybe some forecasting questions too to you, what you think is going to happen, or what your hopes are, or what is even the carbon potential in the future. So so we'll jump now over to Luís Nobre. And hopefully I pronounced that correctly, because my Portuguese is not yet 100%.
It's
So Luís is from Fibronamics, and he's project manager there. He has a master's in materials engineering with specialization in the process and product from the Faculty of Engineering of the University of Porto. Oh, sorry, no, apologies, that's wrong.
Yeah.
He has a master's in materials engineering and currently a PhD student at the University of Minho, specializing in the development of sustainable composite materials. There we go. He is also project manager and co-leader of the composites unit at the Fibronamics Association. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Valerie, for the nice presentation and for the invitation to be there in this panel. So I will start with the presentation of our consortium. And good afternoon to everyone present at this session. So my name is Luís Nobre. I'm a project manager and co-leader of the composite unity at Fibronamics. Fibronamics is an institute of the University of Minho that transferred the knowledge to the market in the fields of fiber materials and composite materials. In addition to Fibronamics, in this project, is promoted by GiveAware, and its partners are Beyond Composite, CIMAR, Fibernamics, Techmino, and Resource. So the main aim of this project is to develop of a modular equipment based on plastic waste to promote the monitor marine life. So to achieve this goal, these objectives have been defined such as collecting and recycling of plastic from the sea, development of the eco-composite materials from these plastic wastes, and development of a modular equipment for seaweed farming. So today we are gradually seeing a collapse of natural carbon sequestration system, and this problem is arising from marine pollution. So to the high consuming of and the lack of the capacity to keep materials in a closed cycle through recycling, and as a result of some maritime activities, some waste ends up in the ocean. So to expect the impacts of this project are the reducing plastic in the ocean and the innovation in algae cultivation system. So we will establish partnerships with the organizing that collect the plastic from the ocean and develop process to recycle these materials and develop algae cultivation system that are recycled plastics from the ocean and optimize this production system. So in this way, the main aim of this project is to collect all the plastic waste from the ocean, transform it and create a new material, a composite material that can be used as an algae cultivation system. So in this way, we present a development that turns into the blue circular economy from the collection and recycling of the waste, the development of a composite material based on this waste, the creation of a modular system for cultivation algae, and the collection of these models and extraction of the algae. So this is an example and a concept of our model and our equipment for the blue grow. So this is a product for the blue economy, always with the aim of promoting sustainability. And how does our system work? So this is a modular system for shallow water coastal areas that can be arranged in different ways to maximize the space. I have here an example of our material, the composite material. The models where the algae grow are removable for easy transportation, and we can replicate the natural substrate through this texture. So the main conclusions of these projects and the main goals of this project is recycling plastic that are in the ocean, developing the eco-composite materials based on this waste, and then we developed the modular system for the algae growing. We will deployment our system at the ocean maybe in the next week. So it's a good news for us to put our system in the ocean near Oporto. And sorry, I can't give more details about our project because we are going on a submitting of a patent, and I can't give more details, but this is our system and our concept, and we will put this on the ocean, and we will deployment our system in the ocean maybe in the next week. So thank you again for the opportunity to explain our project in this session, and thank you for grants to do this project with these partners. So thank you so much for the attention.
Thank you, Luis. Short and sweet presentation and very interesting. Really great example of a circular project there. And I have already noted down a few questions, but we'll now move on to Paolo. Paulo Mendonça, is that right?
Yes, correct.
What a background you have. Really fascinating. I was reading your bio. So Paulo is an associate professor at the School of Architecture, Art and Design at Minho University. Also, yes, sorry. He also holds a PhD in civil engineering by the University of Minho. You have a lot of experience, which I'm not going to read through all of it, but I found, and maybe you can say more about it in your talk a little bit later, but I was quite intrigued by some of the work that you're doing with the smart use of textiles in architecture. You mention that PhD work devoting research interest to the area of building physics, especially in what concerns energy efficiency and sustainable strategies for buildings, construction, and rehabilitation. Main research subjects include lightweight and mixed weight buildings, low-cost housing, local and global economic asymmetries, low-tech strategies, energy costs and sustainable development, new materials and technologies, building refurbishment, recycling and reuse potentialities, sustainable architecture, and kind of the list goes on. So really fascinating, and I'm really intrigued to hear what you're going to be presenting today. Over to you.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you very much, Valerie, for the presentation. It's been a pleasure to work in this project and within this EEA grants. I'm just part of a team, of a consortium. I will maybe present more of the work that is under my direct supervision, but in fact the consortium has other works in development that I want to present, as I'm more focused here on presenting the work that was more related with my supervision, that is the construction and the architecture and the materials that we are developing using litter, ocean litter, especially from fishing activities and in Açores. So the consortium is composed by several partners. We have here, apart from my institution, that is University of Minho, we have in the University of Minho, we have other stakeholders that are the CVR and the PEP that works on polymers, and CVR on the reusing wastes and waste valorization. And we have also in this, we have University of Açores also, that is mapping the wastes, that the litter that is found and being collected in the Sea of Açores. So the objective is to collect 40 tons of wastes and try to give some or try to use these materials, but also to promote among the producers of wastes some strategy to collect. So the consortium and the promoter that is Circular Blue is installing containers so that the fishermen, for example, can deposit their wastes from the fishing tools that are assembled, and there are some waste on this assembling, and they are collecting this polyamide, especially polyamide, but also they collected some mooring cables from the other partners, and we are well, we have since the beginning, we have established a team that is composed mostly by architecture and textile engineering in the University of Minho. And we have been also involving then the polymer engineering department and also other centers, as I told, also a center. These are from University of Minho, like Center for Innovation in Polymer Engineering and the Center for Waste Valorization that I already mentioned. And also we could involve the CDRSP from the Institute, Polytechnic Institute of Leiria, with the Center for Rapid and Sustainable Product Development. And we are being able to involve also PhD students that were not in the beginning in this team. And we are, but that we could attract also to the project because they are working in related fields, and we could already like enlarge the team inside the university. So as I explained, we are the consortium in Açores is collecting the wastes. They are separating. So one of the tasks is to separate the wastes and try to involve the local communities and the waste producers, in fact, the fishermen and the all connected people that work also in the fish, not directly in fishing, but in sea, preparing the fishing lines. Then we characterized, we did some characterization of the materials that were collected, and this involving also the polymer department, polymer engineering department. As you see, we had to bring some material to the continent and to our labs, and also some material we sent to other partners for analysis, but also for transforming. We could have an industrial partner that was able to crush the plastic waste, for example, and we are trying to establish some connection with these companies also to be able in the future to crush the materials, to transform the materials directly in the source, so in the source. So we are trying to establish these links. Since the beginning, I was trying to involve also the students of some curricular units that I'm responsible for, and then I give as an example. This is a fishing village that is São Mateus in Terceira Island, where I proposed the students to imagine some shelters for the fishermen, and the idea was that this could be self-construction, and that we could involve the local community in the assembling of the structures that in the future will be used by them. And one of the uses, apart from like storage from the fishermen activities, also to be the place where they could store the wastes, and also to characterize and separate the waste, so that in the end of this process could be sent for the production of the materials that we are trying to develop. So when some ideas came out from the students with using, for example, the fishing nets directly. So one priority has been to use the most directly as possible the material, so that we don't need to have a transformation process or to have some costs. So the idea was first to try to look at the materials we have. So the materials arrived us in pallets, arrived us in containers, and inside there was the cables and the fishing lines, the what they call silks. I don't know the English translation, but it's fishing lines. And we tried to find some products that could use this, and some in the end some design for the dwellings that could use the most directly as possible this material. So one of the ideas that came was just to use the mooring cables with the pallets, transformed pallets, and build the shelter with these materials. Another design was this kind of a dome where we could use also the cables, the mooring cables, connected somehow with also the fishing lines, and tried to do a dome from this. And the door was supposed to be the parts of fishing vessels that were being in process of dismantling, that were not anymore used. Other ways we want to is to process the waste. So we try to crash these wastes, and we try to make some extrusion for textile filaments. So one of the business from the company that is the promoter of this project is textiles, and so we also design, like interior design or product design that is related with ecotourism. And we are in process now of 3D printing some designs that in this case are like a table or a lamp base or a lamp for the ceiling, where we are using, in this case, for example, in the right, we see these algae lamps that were produced only using algae and polyamide panels, and that are translucent, and we are in fact now developing these panels, and we have some samples that we use for these lamps. So we can produce the lamps entirely from the wastes in the end. So the idea was, except for the lamp itself, all the product is based on litter that we transformed. So we are also in process of developing some construction materials like panels or insulation panels, and even bricks or panels for construction, where we incorporated mostly wastes, not only, but mostly wastes that were the crushed fibers, also some byproducts from the local industries like wood chips, and also basalt powder that is a byproduct from the stone extraction industry and stone transformation industry. And we are testing these solutions in terms of thermal and acoustic insulation. We build a test cell in Terceira that is that was in a plot from the promoter, and we did these 2 test cells that were mostly made using maritime containers, and inside we want to test the materials that we are developing and comparing this with conventional materials. So we have 2 test cells, and we are in process of assembling inside the materials that we are developing. So I think it's also, I'm open to questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Paulo. Thank you very much. Yeah, really fascinating. And again, great example of some circularity there, and all of the incredible opportunities and possibilities of using what is currently waste and making it into another product that we can use again. Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you. So maybe if Marissa's still here, we might start with Marissa. Hi, Marissa. So I'm aware you might have to go soon. There's a few questions that have come in for you, and you've probably seen them in the Q&A. The very first one from Gregory Jean-Baptiste is, impressive results, Dr. Marissa Ramirez. That's why Portugal is recognized as one of the leaders in marine science and in the blue economy. Will the next program be limited to Portuguese institutions, or there will be opportunities for non-Portuguese and non-European institutions to participate?
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the kind words. And yeah, indeed, Portugal is have a remarkable goals and objectives related with marine science and, of course, the blue economy, as the projects show us. Regarding the question, this actual program and the future one only involve the beneficiaries and also the donor countries. So it's only for Portuguese institutions and institutions for the donors countries. However, as you can see, all these projects may be opportunities for the future collaboration through specific partnerships or also initiatives regarding the blue economy. I think this is a huge opportunity.
Thank you. Moving on to the next question for you from Colin Smith. He says, great talk. Would you direct me to a web page where all the innovations are mapped? He's a blue entrepreneur in the Caribbean, and he would like to contact the companies for future collaboration.
So we have all this. In the last slide, there was a link. And in this link, there is all the projects that were financing with the under the under the Blue Grow program are there. So you can find all this information in this link. I can share the link again because it was on the slide. I can imagine that it was not enough time to take a note of this link, but I can send the link if it is enough. I hope so.
Yes, thank you. And just for our viewers to know that the presentations and all of this will be uploaded on our website. And so we will also provide those links there later on. Okay, then just having a scroll through all of the questions quickly. One question, another question for you, Marissa, too, was Europe has big ambitions to restore 30% of nature by 2030, hopefully through the adoption of the nature restoration law. What do you think will help achieve that?
So,
big question.
Yeah, that's a big question. So of course the goal of restoring 30% of land and sea areas by 2030, it's a very ambitious goal, and I think it's necessary if we want to achieve, of course, the biodiversity and the biodiversity conservation and climate change goals, of course. So I think it makes part of this. But if we start to think, we are 6 years away from 2030. And to achieve this, we need to start working. We need to have initiatives. We need to have actions. We need to have, actually, I think we need to have a strategy that could be instrumental, you know, like imagine we need to have, how can I say it? I think we need to have an integrated and holistic approach if we want to achieve all these goals by 2030. So we can talk a lot of different instruments. Of course, the financial instrument is important. And from our side, EGPM, in the next negotiation of the next Blue Grow program in EEA grants, this will be a component that we will say that is important. This is not a question for us, but we can highlight another aspect that I think it's important. And we need to highlight the importance of the science-based approach. And we had some examples here in these projects. Scientific research is really, really important to guide us to the restorations and what efforts are needed, what our actions are really effective and bring us long-term benefits. And then we can talk about another aspects. Of course, we can talk about the collaborations. We need to have more collaboration between all the different stakeholders. We are talking about not only the public and the private, but the governance, the NGOs, the researchers, the scientific, local community also. Engaging these local communities and all the stakeholders, that we can make sure that these restorations projects and all these goals are also inclusive. It's important. So the public awareness and education, I think some of the projects that were presented also talk about this. But then we can stay here all afternoon speaking about the governance framework, innovative technologies. What I think we need to really have a holistic and integrated approach. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, fully support that. And it was great. It's great to see what all of this innovation that's coming out of programs like yourselves, that what you're funding, and what maybe the next step after that will be the upscaling and replicating of a lot of this in order to achieve those targets. And one thing that also you mentioned earlier about your success with ocean literacy, and I was curious, in the ocean literacy outreach that you've done, or your partners have done too, how much is maritime sector job opportunities discussed there? Because what I'm seeing is a real growing need for more skilled labor from our young generations to come, because of all of what we've heard about today with this technology and this advancement and this innovation. This requires engineers, it requires quite skilled laborers, and with AI and augmented reality and other things coming on board. So I'm just curious, how much is you and your partners focusing on that?
Yeah, that's the important question, actually. So Portugal, we are having some investments related with the Resilient and Recover program. That is an investment under the European Commission. And Portugal, one of the investments is related with the Blue School, because we understand that we cannot do this upgrade to a blue economy, a sustainable blue economy. I'm sorry, I need to put sustainable blue economy to make sure that it's sustainable and blue economy. But we understand that to do this transition, we need to have competence and skills that accomplish all this transition. I'm sorry, climate change, biodiversity, to understand the new opportunities for the economic growth, but sustainable, of course. But we need to have people, and people with knowledge, and the right knowledge. So we have an investment dedicated to the Blue School, and we have the both of the Escola Náutica, Nautic School, and also the Formar, working on the new jobs of the future. So that's something that is really, really, really important. That is different than ocean literacy, it's the skills. It's not the public awareness. We are talking about the new skills that these green jobs needed.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Just to hop over to Luis, because Luis, I know you just mentioned that you have to run off. Sorry to hear that. I was wondering, do you have a time for a quick question?
Yeah, I can answer a question in the Q&A maybe, because Colin is writing a message. Would you direct me? No, it's not that. If these projects are able in the market, right?
Yes.
Our product is not in the market now because we are submitting a patent of this product. But in our consortium, we have a company, industrial company, Beyond Composite, that will do that and we'll put this in the market. And we already have a conversation with offshore windy industry to put our system in their facilities in the ocean. So it's good for us to put this in the market and in these applications in the ocean.
Okay, fantastic. Do you have one more question? Time for one more question? Yeah. You mentioned, so you're using plastics, right, for the item that you created on which the seagrass or algae grows. The plastic you mentioned, is it circular then? Is it plastic that you're collecting as from waste from somewhere, either marine or on land?
Yeah, this plastic that we use in our concept is a plastic from the ocean, like bottles, like fishing nets. We put this in our compression molding. Is a method to do composite materials, and we heat this material and produce a new product with this waste. So we collect the waste from the ocean and then we did a new material, and we will use these materials to do our concept to put in the ocean. So we will not put virgin material in the ocean, but we will give another life to waste that we collect from the ocean.
Okay, great, fantastic. Well, I don't want to keep you any longer. I do have some other questions, but maybe we could send them to you and we could get those answered later.
I can answer.
'Cause,
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
I know you have to rush.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much
Right,
again
thank you.
for the opportunity. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so let's see here. We have a lot of questions coming in. So I have one from Clara Manuel, who's from Angola, asking, how can I apply these models, the construção in Angola? Sorry, it's a question in Portuguese. And what competencies and equipment are necessary? And this is to all of the speakers. I see Paulo is typing.
Yes, I already answered, but also it's mostly related with the next question. I think that all should be looked in each place. No, each place has its own issues, its own waste, its own litter. No, and we should always we have to analyze. No, in each place there will be specific waste, specific problems, specific skills that we could develop, and also I think it would be more important is to establish a strategy, for each place, and because the material, even the skills of the people in each place will be different. So you have to always look at the specific skills, the specific culture, to see what is possible to develop in each place. So there is no recipe like a generic recipe, but should be always a specific response for each context, for each. But what is important, in my opinion, is that we should promote the collection of wastes. We should promote the cleaning of the seas, and also we should promote that there are the minimum pollution, as possible, so that's, and if we involve the people that is producing the trash in collecting, or if we give them the responsibility to collect the waste, then they will pay more attention, and I'm sure they should produce less waste. No, also if the things are if they have some fines or some penalties for polluting, they will also be more sensitive, of course. But that's the last answer.
Yes, thank you for that. And that did bring me to one question I had as well about when you said the fishermen were collecting the waste. I was curious, are they incentivized to do so?
Yes, they are in the like part of the team. It was like the work from the local promoter, from Antonietta. I don't know if she's in the audience. And they established contact with the local communities, especially the fishing, and they involved some of the fishermen, and they used the boat from one of the fishermen to go to the sea and collect the wastes. Because they will be more aware where are the also they were using the work from the University of Açores, the Oceanos, that were mapping these areas so they could go and track the place where they could find the waste, but also some waste are in the land, not just wastes that are in the sea, and some waste they go to the shore and they arrive to the beaches. I was even involved in some action like this, not here, but not in Açores, but in the north of Spain some weeks ago. And I think these strategies should be all over, to go. And it's impressive, in fact, how much litter that we don't see on the first sight, how much litter we have in the sea that we don't notice, and if we go, in fact, and we collect and we are involved in these activities and all, only if we are involved, we can, in fact, be conscious of how much waste there is and how much problems there are in the sea from our pollution, from our wastes.
Thank you. I see we have a raised hand by Jose, and I also wanted to extend the invite to our participants that if they wanted to raise their hands to ask questions, they can also do that. And I'm aware we still have some questions that are unanswered. We will get to those. Go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, thank you, Valerie. We still have some questions here, but I want to ask the same questions for all remaining panelists, but in a different level. First is, Marisa, as a policymaker, which are the challenges and opportunities to convincing scientists, researchers to start, like, say, their own business, to create jobs? And how do you see your job as transitioning from science to innovation to the market and trying to make it happen? And the same question for both Paulo and Francisco as well. How do you feel this transition from science to the market? Extreme ends. So starting with Marisa, I'd like to hear you.
Thank you so much. I think that's a problem that we are aware right now, that there is really a gap between the science community and then the market. We know that these two worlds, they don't talk with each other. So we need to bring all the community and make them talk. And we are aware of that. So like I talk about the Blue School. This is a huge project that is the hub, the Blue Hubs. We are working right now on creating different Blue Hubs in Portugal, from the north to the south of Portugal. And we want these hubs to be more than an infrastructure place. We want to bring all the stakeholders together, working together. We want to bring scientists, researchers, universities, startups, entrepreneurs working together on the same place so they can start to talk with each other. So I understand your question, how to bring them together. And I think these programs like the Blue Grow or the programs like the Blue Hubs are really, really important so we can bring all these communities to talk together. Before, when there was the question about education and I talked the Blue Schools, I forgot to tell that the Blue Grow program of the EE grants also invest in education, because in our perspective, all these three, the research, the business, and the education must be together, you know? It's not possible to have this without talking with all the areas. So these areas must be in the holistic and integrated approach.
Yeah, thank you. And now to Paulo and Francisco, could you give the perspective from science? And as an architect as well.
Well, I will start them, okay? Yeah, well, from the science, yeah, it's true that there is a gap between science and politics, but in fact, in CIMAR, when we are working, many of my colleagues, I mean, I have some colleagues that started in the past, some companies growing seaweed like Algal Plus, and they started with us. Let's say, we provide them with the tools to create the companies. We have in our project, we have a new job. The people is setting up a new company. So the problem, circumstance is the sea is the new land. So we are going to occupy let's say the sea in the future. Aquaculture, seaweed, fish agriculture will develop a lot in the future in Portugal. We have this marine wind farm. This is happening right now. So there will be a lot of opportunities in the near years to create new jobs. From our side, we are creating the right people, for example, for seaweed aquaculture, which is a rising business, and it will multiply by 10 in the next decade. That's the provisions. So we are training people that is able to cultivate seaweeds. So I think we are doing the right things. It's true that there's still some missing links. I think we are improving, and the people in this country is ready to go to the sea, which, to be honest, you have to be very brave, because this is very brave as well. So yeah, I am very proud of how things are going, and I am sure that Portugal will be very successful invading the sea, if you can say it in this way. Thank you.
So, Paulo, over to you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Well, I've been answering in the chat, some the question and answer, and what is important in this type of projects that we are working with companies, not that in the end, because in some projects that we were involved in the past, there were no companies, and in the end we have this difficulty to try to bring a product, an idea to a company, and if the company is not involved since the beginning in the development, if it's not something that they feel it's a problem, that is coming from their own problems, they won't be identified with the product, and that's what is important in this type of project, is that the promoter in this case is a company that we wish that in the end they could have some products in the market, and they could sell, even if I know that is difficult to have products that are economically viable, because we have a lot of costs in this process. If we have to collect the waste. If there is no support on this activity, of course it won't be. If we want to involve for example, the fishermen in collecting the waste, or if we don't involve the local authorities in transport the waste, or if we don't promote, I'm just making the links, no, but and just giving them ideas and concepts that they could apply. But of course, the cost, we know that the cost is not affordable, no, to make all this process, no. But we should look at the environmental positive cost in the end, no. So we should not look at these like products that could be competitive in terms of cost, no, because they will be more expensive than some product that is produced in Pakistan or in India. That, but we can involve, or we should involve in this case design or some skills, some crafts. That it's what the company that is promoting the project does. Know that in the end we have some local products that have also a better acceptance than some product that comes with that is like a design that is not local, or that does not involve the local crafts, and that people in the end don't feel as their own product or their own. And this, I think, is significantly relevant in communities like Açores, no, that are also because it's very far from the continent, and to transport all the goods there, it will be, they will have a significant cost. And if we can make all the process and make local products, I think it's the step to have but also to promote these products from these countries, because the company that is promoting, they also have a wide market, no, an international market, and most of their products they don't sell, in fact, in Açores or in Portugal. They sell for clients that are in Germany, or that may be in Sweden, or in Canada, or in the United States, or in other context that is not the local context. And maybe sometimes this context will value more these products than us, no, like the small communities in local communities.
Thank you.
Thanks. Over to you, Valerie.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so yeah, what I heard, Paula, is really we need to take a step towards incentivizing the right actions, and companies that are doing what is possible to, you know, to remove the waste, to be circular, and maybe not favor the companies that aren't doing as much, or that are putting more waste into the environment. This is kind of, my main takeaways. And thank you very much to our speakers for answering all of the questions. We will post those so people can read them that are not here live with us. There's one last question, if I can be cheeky, to ask you all before you go, and that is, what advice would you pass on as researchers, looking to other researchers, to people looking for marine restoration funding, or just, you know, marine or blue innovation funding?
I can start maybe. I think I'm always talking about something that is collaboration. Collaboration in different levels, in political levels, in operational levels. We really need to talk with each other and have a better collaboration so we can achieve all these climate and biodiversity goals. That is something very quick, my answer right now. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we are in the decade of restoration, so this is the right time to look and work in restoration. We have a lot of things to do to be efficient, to halt, to stop losing biodiversity, to fight against climate change. This is going to be tricky. So we will make a lot of mistakes, but this is the right moment to put our efforts as researchers in this subject. And there is money, to be honest. There is more money than ever before. So we have to be responsible also with our research and provide real and useful advice. So it's a very important moment for the humanity, I think. So everybody has to be in the same boat and try to fight against these problems. That's my point. A lot of enthusiasm as well. I don't want to be negative. I mean, you put a lot of enthusiasm. We work together with many research teams across Europe. The opportunity of Blue Foresting also of the grant was to get in contact with another teams. So we are developing a lot of collaborations. Also, we are now in new European projects. That's very good for us. So we are fighting all together. Let's hope we are successful.
Yes. And Paulo, any last words?
Yeah, I think the major concern or the most easy way to get into the people these concerns is to make them pay, if there is some cost. And what we see, for example, in India is that maybe they recycle more than other countries or even Africa, because they need to recycle, they need to reuse, even to reuse, because they cannot afford to waste, because and nowadays we see that we are sending goods like litter to Africa or to Asia, so that they recycle, and we should try to do it also as we should promote this, and this should be the local communities that need to be involved, and we need to work on the formation and on sensibilization of each and everyone to be part of this.
Thank you. Thank you very much to our speakers for all of your presentations and for contributing to the weekly hour. And our audience is very global, and this will keep being watched for weeks to come. So we really appreciate your time. And I just pass over to Jose for any final words.
No, thank you, Valerie. So I repeat the words from Valerie. Thank you so much for being here and for helping people to understand how can we transform science into business. I mean, I repeat that I'm very impressed with the numbers that Marisa provided. I mean, I took these screenshots I will share with the people from Blue Mission to show them the way. And probably ask Marisa to participate in a meeting with the Blue Mission, because this was really exciting. I see that everybody's optimist here. I love this. We are living in a world full of challenge, and sometimes people are pessimistic, but I see that this group of people here really believe we can collaborate and change the world together. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the invitation. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.